Good evening, it's just past 6 o'clock and it's good to be with you again for our news programme this week. And in the news this week, Weymouth Town Council has announced that it's going to reduce its portion of the council tax for the coming year. Councillors debated the budget proposals for 2022-2023 financial year before agreeing a 5% reduction in the town council proportion of the precept. The decision was approved at the council meeting on the 12th of January, on Wednesday this week, and will go to next in-person meeting of the full council for ratification. It means from April residents will pay less for the Weymouth Town Council's share of their precept. This for an average Band D property will mean that they will pay £176.41 a year for the Weymouth Town Council element compared to £185.69 last year. Weymouth Town Council spends £4.3 million on its work for Weymouth in each year. The budgets are financed through a combination of trading income, service fees and charges, and of course the precept paid by all council taxpayers. Funds will be used to maintain services including parks and gardens, play areas, cemeteries, allotments, beach, community development and the town centre itself. Councillor Colin Huckle, who's the Mayor of Weymouth, said, "While many councils are increasing residents' council tax bills, we recognise that people are already struggling with rising living costs. That's why it's important that we continue to provide frontline services and amenities efficiently without asking residents to bear any additional costs through Weymouth Town Council's share of the council tax." Moving to the next story, a Weymouth bar has had its licence revoked following an application by Dorset Police. You'll remember we covered this story last week when we said it was going to the licensing committee. The licence for Actors Bar and Club on Maiden Street was revoked following a decision made by Dorset Council's licensing subcommittee at its meeting on Wednesday this week. The premises licence had previously been suspended following an earlier hearing by the committee on Friday the 17th of December. The applicant has 21 days to appeal the decision. Dorset Police launched an investigation into the activities at the venue following allegations of criminality, including the supply of drugs on the premises as well as excessive alcohol consumption and associated disorder. Linked to its investigations, officers from the Neighbourhood Exploitation Team and CID executed a warrant under the Misuse of Drugs Act at a local address on Friday the 17th of December, and a 37-year-old man from Weymouth was arrested on suspicion of being concerned in the supply of controlled drugs, Class A, and a quantity of suspected cannabis was also seized. He has been released under investigation as inquiries continue. Superintendent Dean O'Connor of the Dorset Police area said an investigation was launched into actors following concerns raised by members of the public. The investigation involves specialist support from the Drug and Alcohol Harm Reduction Team, working alongside the local neighbourhood policing team, response officers and detectives from CID, as well as working with the local authority. We want everyone to enjoy a safe night out in our communities, and we'll work with our partners at Dorset Council as well as licensees to ensure all venues operate within the law and in accordance with their licences. Where they're failing to do so, we will adopt a robust approach to be tough on alleged crime and take decisive action with our partners using powers available to us under the licensing framework. We will also carry out a detailed investigation into any alleged criminality. Reducing violence against women and girls and supporting the safety of women at night are key priorities for the local neighbourhood policing team in Weymouth as we seek to collaborate with our partner agencies, charities and businesses to develop initiatives such as Safe Space. Police and Crime Commissioner David Siddick added, "Fighting violent crime and high harm is a priority within the police and crime plan, and I know that the public expect Dorset Police to deal firmly with allegations of drug supply. Equally, I expect the force to use every tool in their toolbox to address such issues." Being a licensee has responsibilities. If you fail in those, then you can expect to lose your licence. Staying linked with the police, drivers on the school run were given a lesson in road safety this week as police responded to complaints about road safety in Littermore Road and Radipole Park Drive, and there were checks made on Friday morning this week. Officers from the neighbourhood policing team were out and about with speed cameras following concerns about excessive speed lodged by residents. A number of motorists were spoken to and were advised to slow down. Police are also asking if other residents know of any motoring hotspots that they're concerned about. So if you have issues in your road or your neighbourhood, to get in touch with them via 101 or the form on their website, and they will also come and look at those things in your area too. In July 2021, Weldmar Hospice announced that their overseas challenge would be to the Sahara Desert in November this year, and we did cover that at the time. The response to this trek has been absolutely phenomenal, and Weldmar have now reached the maximum numbers. They're very keen not to disappoint anyone who's missed out on a place on the November 2022 challenge, and if there are other people out there considering signing up. So they've decided to run the Sahara Trek again in March 2023, so an additional date in March 2023. So if you haven't been able to get involved in November 2022 because it was full or the date didn't work for you, now there's a second date in March 2023. Elaine Harmon from Weldmar's fundraising team has been blown away by the reaction to the Sahara Trek planned in 2022. She says, "I'm so pleased that we have 30 eager trekkers to take on the amazing challenge in November, but we didn't want to disappoint anyone. Still keen to take part. So by adding another date in March 2023, we're giving people another opportunity to take the challenge of a lifetime." She goes on to say, "We'll be trekking through beautiful scenery by day and sleeping under the stars at night. We'll even be baking bread in the hot sand and immersing ourselves in the local culture. There's plenty of support and team building before we go on the trek. Participants will join local Berbers and camels for the 4-day trek, and there will be a chance to explore the city of Marrakesh before heading home. A minimum of £1,500 needs to be raised for Weldmar Hospice to take part, and there's a £340 registration fee for the trek, and it departs on the 16th of March 2023. If you're interested in that, pop along to the Weldmar Hospice website and look for the information, and that is weld-hospice.org.uk, weld-hospice.org.uk. That's if you fancy trekking in the Sahara. Sounds very, very interesting if you're one of those that likes those different sorts of holidays and more physical experiences. Dorset Coast Forum are holding a flood awareness drop-in event for residents of Melcombe Regis to discuss flooding issues in the area. The event will be held at the Park Community Centre, Chelmsford Street, Weymouth, and interested persons can drop in between 4 and 6 p.m. The project is part of a project Building Resilience in Communities, or BRIC, and is one of 8 pilot schemes being run across the south of the UK in Plymouth, Essex, Kent, and the modern regions of France in Oise, and Val and Finisterre. The aim is to create a guide and new tools and resources that can be used more widely in areas affected by flooding in these areas. The drop-in event aims to listen to residents' opinions and experiences on what the best outcomes would be for the community in terms of flood resilience. We want to include Melcombe Regis community from the beginning, listening to their needs and building a picture of the best ways to adapt the impacts of climate change, say the Dorset Coast Forum. Now, I'm actually looking at, I've just noticed, there's not clear when the date is, but I can see from the link on the website, it's the 25th of January between 4 and 6 p.m. So that's at the Park Community Centre on the 25th of January between 4 and 6 p.m. So things that they will be looking at is tidal flooding via the Weymouth Harbour, fluvial flooding via the River Wey, that's a posh word, isn't it? Fluvial. Surface water flooding due to rainfall, exacerbated by tide locking, and wave overtopping on the seafront. I think that's big waves on the seafront. Weymouth has many existing and long established support networks as well as strong sense of community. The aim is therefore to work alongside what is already there and to respond to what the community wants and needs through engagement, creating awareness, training and providing educational and informative tools and guidance. So if flooding is something that concerns you and you're in the Melcombe Regis area, do have a search for the Dorset Coast Forum and look for their flood awareness drop-in, 25th of January, 4 to 6 in the Park District. A busy convenience store in Weymouth is up for sale, alongside with a takeaway and residential flats, and negotiations are currently underway. A prospective buyer has now been found for the White Regis Tesco's Express and adjoining Subway sandwich restaurant at 67 Portland Road. This went on the market last year for £2.5 million. The sale also includes 4 residential apartments above the Tesco's building, which are let privately. It's been sold by estate agent Savills, and it says it's far superior quality compared to local competition due to its prominent location. The convenience store and takeaway unit is situated on the only route through to Portland, ideally positioned to service the surrounding population of White Regis, as well as Portland and tourists in the area. That's what Savills have said, and if you know the Tesco's Express, you'll know it's very, very busy. It is indeed on that main route. So they have a sale underway. The good news is, of course, that it's being sold with Tesco's still operation. It's just selling the building. Tesco's have a 20-year lease that runs to 2038. So it's an investment opportunity. It's not for a change of use of the building. So that will be good news for those people in White Regis that rely on that Tesco's Express. Weymouth Town Council are asking local charities who would like to see some recognition by having the Jubilee clock lit up for them to get in touch. Local people will know that the Jubilee clock gets lit up in different colours, and you can see there it is in purple on the screen now. The council will be once again lighting up Weymouth's iconic Jubilee clock this year to raise awareness for good causes. The initiative will light up the clock face with colours that represent different charities. One charity will be represented per month, with the clock being lit up for 3 days during the month. In 2021, the clock face was illuminated on a number of occasions in support of charities which were nominated by the public, including Weymouth Repair Cafe, the RNLI, Weymouth Sea Cadets and Marie Curie. Councillor Colin Huckle, Mayor of Weymouth, said, "We're delighted to once again be raising awareness for charities and good causes using this well-known landmark. The Jubilee clock is one of Weymouth's most recognisable sites and a proud symbol of Weymouth's heritage. Weymouth Town Council look forward to receiving a diverse range of nominations from the public." Residents can nominate any local charities they would like to see represented in 2022 by completing the Survey Monkey form by midday Friday the 28th of January. Nominations will then be taken to a panel of councillors for consideration. So have a look on the Weymouth Town Council website, and if you're involved with the charity, do nominate them to have the Jubilee clock lit up for them this year, sometime in 2022. Moving on. God, there's lots in the news today, isn't there? Space obsessives will be able to travel 250 million miles in moments as a stunningly accurate recreation of planet Mars comes to Dorchester. Dorchester will be one of the first venues in the country to display Luke Jerram's 7-metre diameter artwork of the Red Planet when it opens to the public on Tuesday, March the 8th. And there's a picture of it. I think that must be in the Natural History Museum, looking at what's in the background there on the screen. The week-long event is a collaboration with Dorchester Arts and will see the installation of a fusion of Mars imagery, light and surround sound composition created by BAFTA and Ivor Novello award-winning composer Dan Jones. Dorchester Arts Director Mark Tussell said, "Mars gives the residents of Dorchester an amazing opportunity to view our nearest planetary neighbour up close and in perfect detail." In addition, a programme of events will allow schools and the local community to draw, dance, play and listen to music in the warm glow of the Red Planet. Luke Jerram last brought his artwork to Dorchester in July 2019, when more than 9,000 visitors marvelled at the Museum of the Moon and took part in a spectacular weekend of celebrations led by Dorchester Arts and Dorchester Town Council to mark 50 years since the first man walked on the moon. Mars is a new touring artwork by UK artist Mr. Jerram. It measures 7 metres in diameter. The artwork features detailed NASA imagery of the Martian surface. At an approximate scale of 1 to 1 million, each centimetre of the internally lit spherical sculpture represents 10 kilometres of the surface of Mars. The artwork allows visitors to view Mars from the air as though they are on a satellite, mapping and studying the surface in perfect detail. Every valley, crater, volcano and mountain is laid bare for us to inspect. The artwork transports people excuse me, to this desert wasteland to imagine what it's like to step foot on the incredible but barren planet. Over its lifetime, Mars will be presented in a number of different ways, both indoors and outdoors, so altering the experience and interpretation of the artwork at each venue. Wow, that looks something well worth paying a visit to from the 8th of March, I think. So certainly from the beginning of March there. Moving on, Dorset Council has launched a new grant to support not-for-profit community and cultural organisations to deliver new and improved facilities for local communities. The Capital Leverage Fund can help fund a range of projects including village hall or community building enhancements, renovations, maintenance or new build projects, including car parks, play areas, multi-use games areas, theatres, community sports clubs, sports pitches and landscaping. They say we also welcome applications from projects that help to address climate change themes, new public art or heritage capital projects, including accredited museums. Councillor Laura Miller, Dorset Council portfolio holder for customer and community services, said, "We hope to see many applications for these grants. There are grants available for up to £25,000. We know that this can significantly impact one-off or capital projects, and we want to assist projects that can demonstrate how they support their local communities and making Dorset a great place to live, work and visit." You can apply for a capital grant of between £1,000 and £25,000 to fund up to 20% of your total project costs. For more details of criteria, fund aims and how to complete your application, please go along to the Dorset Council website. Applications can be made online and they have to be in, you've got a long time to do this, by Friday the 6th of January 2023. I was just reading that thinking, goodness, we've missed the date, but it's Friday the 6th of January 2023. So yeah, community and voluntary sector projects there. A great scheme giving you up to £25,000, which can account for up to 20% of your project costs. Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Services recruiting young people aged 16 to 25 who are not in education, employment or training for their up-and-coming Prince's Trust Team Programme. The 12-week personal development course will involve a mixture of group activity sessions both indoors and out, including a 2-week work experience placement that will enable participants to gain the evidence required for the Prince's Trust Employment, Teamwork and Community Skills qualification. Debbie Harvey, who's the Prince's Trust team leader, said, "The course is a great way to meet new people, build your confidence, develop skills that employers are looking for, and improve your CV to help you in your next steps." They've got a 12 weeks packed programme, including an adventure residential in Dartmoor, which will involve lots of team building and outdoor activities such as rock climbing, abseiling and night hike. Other elements of the course that are always popular with the participants include the work experience placement, the opportunity to gain a first aid qualification and the 2-day practical firefighting input at a local fire station. The course starts on Monday the 24th of January, so it's not far off, and will be delivered from the 3rd Pool Sea Scout Centre. Spaces are limited, so if you're interested, do get in touch with Debbie as soon as possible. And Debbie's contact details are telephone 07500 066 134. That's 07500 066 134. Or email debbie.harvey@dwfire.org.uk. debbie.harvey@dwfire.org.uk. So we go from fire to police. Well, first of all, the coroner actually. The coroner for Dorset is seeking the assistance of the public to find the next of kin for a woman who died in Weymouth. Tracy Ward, who was 50 years old, died at her home in Ranley Road on Thursday, that's the 13th of January. Her death is not suspicious and no police investigation is needed into her death. Coroner's officer Sharon Emerson said, "We are not treating her death as suspicious. However, we have not been able to locate her next of kin." So if any member of the public has any knowledge of her family members, then please contact the Dorset Coroner as soon as possible. And the number is 01202 123 900. So that's 01202 123 900. And that's if you know any of the next of kin or family member details for Tracy Ward, who was 50, from Ranley Road, who died on Thursday of this week. And Dorset Police are appealing for witnesses following a serious injury collision. Dorset Police received a report at 12:13 on Wednesday this week of a collision involving a white Mercedes van and a red Toyota Aygo and a black Peugeot 208 on the A35 near to the Stinsford roundabout. The male driver of the Toyota sustained serious injuries and has been taken to hospital for treatment. The female driver of the Peugeot, aged in her 60s, was taken to hospital for treatment for serious injuries as well. The Mercedes van driver was not physically injured. Road closures were put in place to allow emergency services to treat the injured people and safely respond to the incident. If you know anything about that accident, you're in the vicinity, or you have got any dash cam footage, lots of cars now have dash cams, Dorset Police would like to hear from you. And that's the usual contact point. It's telephone 101, or if you want to give information anonymously, you can contact Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. So directly to Dorset Police on 101, or via Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. And now that's the end of our headlines tonight. Goodness, what a lot we had to pack in tonight. Now, our first story this week is from our usual contributor, Janet Hall. And this week, Janet is remembering a well-known composer who goes back some time, as we'll hear from Janet. And it's a name that will be familiar to many, Ralph Vaughan Williams. So here we hear from Janet.
100 years ago, on the 16th of January 1922, Ralph Vaughan Williams's A Pastoral Symphony was performed for the first time in London. It received some criticism at first, but was later regarded as stunningly beautiful, combining the grace of the wildly popular The Lark Ascending with the deep sadness of war. Later designated Symphony No. 3, it was said to be inspired by the composer hearing a bugler practicing, and is frequently thought of as a memorial for the fallen of the First World War, many of whom Vaughan Williams knew. He later said he saw music as an antidote to a war-torn world. He had been born on the 12th of October 1872 in the Cotswold village of Down Ampney, where his father was vicar. Following his father's death in 1875, he was brought up at Leith Hill Place in Surrey and educated at Charterhouse School, the Royal College of Music, and Trinity College, Cambridge. He was a pupil of Charles Stanford and Hubert Parry, later studying with Max Bruch in Berlin and Maurice Ravel in Paris. At the turn of the century, he was among the very first to travel into the countryside to collect folk songs and carols from singers, notating them for future generations to enjoy. Although he had uncertainty in question of faith, his second wife, Ursula, said he drifted into cheerful agnosticism. Vaughan Williams frequently attended church, where he found musical inspiration. His first job after graduation was as a church organist. As musical director of the English Hymnal, he composed several hymn tunes that remain popular, including For All the Saints and Come Down, O Love Divine. A long and deep friendship with Gustav Holst was a constructive relationship, which was crucial to the development of both composers. Vaughan Williams took 3 years off his age in order to volunteer for the army, during the 1914-18 war, and after a long period of training and waiting, he was sent to France in 1916, serving as a wagon orderly in the Royal Army Medical Corps. Later, he was given a commission in the Royal Garrison Artillery and found himself in charge of both guns and horses. The carnage and the loss of his friends, such as the composer George Butterworth, deeply affected him and influenced his music after the war. Vaughan Williams was married twice, in 1897 to Adeline Fisher and in 1953 to poet Ursula Wood. A knighthood was offered and refused, but the Order of Merit was conferred upon him in 1935. He died on the 26th of August 1958. His ashes are interred in Westminster Abbey near Purcell. In a long and productive life, music flowed from his creative pen in profusion. Hardly a musical genre was untouched or failed to be enriched by his work. So next time we're singing Come Down, O Love Divine, think about Vaughan Williams.
There we go, a bit of history there, an anniversary of a well-known composer, Ralph Vaughan Williams. Well, moving on, we're going to be talking about another historic anniversary. From its beginnings with coastal lookouts to today's high-tech national network of coordination centres, from small localised beginnings to international players, one thing that has stayed the same for 2 centuries, yes, 200 years, is Her Majesty's Coast Guard. Seeking to search, to rescue and to save people's lives. 200 years of saving lives along the UK coast and at sea, as well as coordinating rescues for those in distress in international waters, is being marked this year as HM Coast Guard celebrates its milestone anniversary. And it was today, 200 years ago, on the 15th of January 1822, that HM Coast Guard was formally brought into existence and has been working to keep people safe on the coast and at sea ever since. Today, in honour of that actual birthday, Coast Guards across all 4 home nations are casting throw lines as a symbol of the service's dedication, past and present. Now, at I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock this morning, a special video was released celebrating those 200 years. Unfortunately, it's a bit too long to play for you today. Throw lines, which form part of the life-saving kit used by Coast Guard teams, will be cast into the sea around England, Scotland and Wales at 11 a.m. today, or they have been cast at 11 a.m. today, with each team operating under the latest COVID-19 guidance for the local areas, of course. Over the past 2 centuries, HM Coast Guard has gone from strength to strength. In 2022, Coast Guard Operations Centres coordinate responses to emergency situations at the coast, calling on 310 Coast Guard rescue teams, made up from 3,500 dedicated volunteers and using 10 search and rescue helicopter bases. Now, although we're not seeing the video released today because it's too long, let's see a shorter video that focuses on the work of the Coast Guard, who are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to protect our coastlines and save us if we get in trouble.
Coast Guard Rescue. Coast Guard.
ATC clearance received. ETA 10 minutes. Casualty located. Proceed to the beach.
A great bit of short video that really focuses the mind on what the Coast Guard do for us and have been doing for now 200 years today. Earlier in our headlines today, we mentioned a new artwork, Mars, by artist Luke Jerram. Well, Luke has had previous artworks on the Moon and the Earth, and the one on Earth is called Gaia, and it's a touring artwork by Luke Jerram, measuring again 7 meters in diameter and created by detailed NASA imagery of the Earth's surface. The artwork provides the opportunity to see our planet floating in 3 dimensions. The installation aims to create a sense of the overview effect, which was first described by author Frank White in 1987. Common features of the experience are that astronauts are feeling in awe of the planet, and a profound understanding of the interconnection of all life and a renewed sense of responsibility for taking care of the environment. Now, this is still touring around the country. We haven't got footage of Mars, but we thought it would be worth sharing with you some footage of Gaia, which is the Earth equivalent. When presented indoors, it slowly revolves. And there's a specially made surround sound composition by BAFTA award-winning composer Dan Jones, which is played alongside the sculpture. In Greek mythology, Gaia is the personification of the Earth, and we're pleased to share with you that video courtesy of Luke Jerram now.
Apollo 8, this is Houston. It's a good picture of the horizon. We can't see many terrain features as yet. Apollo 8, Houston, we're beginning to pick up a few craters very dimly. The whole thing is pretty bright.
Roger, there's not much definition up here either on the horizon. We're now approaching the craters C and Bandit.
I was immediately moved to tears. My daughter said to me, "Why are you crying?" I said, "I'm not crying, I'm just humbled."
It was very cool because it was really big and you could lie underneath it and have photos where you hold it.
You come off the busy street and everyone just stops and there's like a sense of stillness as it's spinning around really slowly.
I just felt really proud in a weird way as well.
All of your senses are involved.
It was amazing. You come from normal life and then you get this little glimpse of something behind the door and then you walk into this amazing dark room.
My name is Luke Jerram and I'm the artist behind the Gaia Earth artwork. Humanity has been staring at the moon for 200,000 years. The moon has inspired so much music and mythology and literature in every culture right around the world. Whereas it's only been 50 years that humanity has been able to see our planet Earth, from space as a blue marble floating in the blackness of space.
I was so mesmerised by it.
It's quite awe-inspiring, really.
That mixture of fragility and strength that is there.
We were thinking about how small we were.
And it feels like I'm on the moon and I'm looking at the Earth.
It makes us wonder perhaps what we're doing to our world, what it'll be like for our children's children.
It's probably the first time that my son has seen the world in that sort of context. He doesn't understand yet, but he will one day.
It makes you feel very small. I think we need to save the world.
I'm hoping when people come and see this Earth artwork, they'll realise the beauty and the fragility of our planet, and that actually it's our only home and we really have to look after it.
We don't have time to sit on our hands as our planet burns. For young people, climate change is bigger than election or re-election. It's life or death. It will take radical action to save us. It will take radical action to save us. It will take radical action to save us.
Nature is one of the most exciting, amazing and incredible.
There we go. That is Gaia, the 7 meter diameter 3D revolving picture of Earth by artist Luke Jerram. Now you will recognise some of the footage there. It was actually shot in Salisbury Cathedral when it was there. It is still touring across Europe and across the UK, and if you're interested in seeing where Gaia is, you can go to the website www.my-earth.org, www.my-earth.org, to see where it is. And as we say, Mars is coming to Dorchester in March. So there we go, just something different to share with you today. And now it's come to that time in the programme where we're going to see what the national weather has in store for us the rest of this weekend, and as we go into next week. So this week we are joined by Aidan McGivern from the Met Office.
Hello and welcome to the latest from the Met Office. We'll start the weekend with copious amounts of low cloud and fog, but brighter skies are looking more likely on Sunday, even some sunshine in many places. We're going to go from one high to the next over the next few days, so the one constant is that the weather is staying settled. However, initially on Friday night and Saturday we are going to see a lot of low cloud and fog as this high moves away. The two highs, this one and the next one that comes along later in the weekend, are separated by a weather front which will help to clear the low cloud and fog by Sunday and bring much brighter skies to many places, albeit with quite a few showers and a brisk wind in the far north. And then this high comes to dominate the weather for next week. Into Saturday night, a change comes along, and that's the weather front I mentioned. It brings a spell of rain into northwest Scotland by the evening, and then that area of rain fizzles out as it pushes south across Scotland and Northern Ireland. So not much rain associated with it, but it does help to clear the skies into the north of Scotland by the end of the night. It also turns the air colder and windier. Further south, a bit more of a breeze, perhaps a bit more cloud, and so less frosty and foggy compared to previous nights, but you wouldn't discount it entirely. So a lot of cloud, I think, first thing Sunday, but as this front moves south, bringing some drivelly bits of rain, it's going to clear the air. And for Scotland, Northern Ireland, for Northern England, and then North Wales, parts of the Midlands, decent sunny spells breaking out. Even some brighter spells further south as well, but that's where the cloudier stuff will remain. And for Northern Scotland, a windy day to come on Sunday with some showers, and cloudier again for northwest Scotland. But in between you can see plenty of blue skies, so a much brighter day for many of us on Sunday, and a touch milder as well, particularly given that we won't have those lingering fog patches. So a bit of a contrast through the weekend as we clear the low cloud and fog and replace it with blue skies and sunshine. But the overall settled theme remains, and that's how it looks well into next week. Follow us on social media, keep you updated. Bye-bye.
Brilliant. Thank you very much there, Aidan, for that. And here we have our local weather widget, and we can see that we have sunshine throughout the week. Yes, it might be a bit cloudy spells, but we have sunshine. It's going to be reasonably mild. I think it'll be colder at night, so a bit more like winter should be. Blue skies, sunshine, a bit colder at night, and not too much of the wet stuff, which is really, really good news for the week ahead. So, moving on to traffic and travel. What have we got planned this week? Well, on the trains, nothing too much to worry about, nothing planned, although the railways are running on a reduced timetable at the moment. So the best advice is to check before travelling to make sure that that train that you were going to catch is actually running. There's a good website to use called Journey Check. So you can go to journeycheck.com/Great Western Railway or journeycheck.com/SWR if you're interested in South West Trains. And that all the latest updated information on arrivals and departures and cancellations are available on those websites for you. Looking at local roadworks, Southern Gas Network are working in Wardcliffe Road. In fact, Wardcliffe Road, I believe, is closed through to the 21st of January. Wessex Water are working in Newstead Road, Walpole Street and Monmouth Avenue. BT Openreach in Ranelagh Road and Crescent Street. Jurassic Fibre are still in Field Barn Drive, and Scottish and Southern also in Ranelagh Road. So just some of the roadworks that are happening across the area this coming week. Moving to our What's On session. Here we go. What's on? Well, at the Pavilion Theatre, 21st of January, Arrival, which is the hits of ABBA. 27th of January, Lionel, the music of Lionel Richie. 28th of January, the Pink Floyd Experience. 29th of January, From Gold to Rio, music of Spandau Ballet and Duran Duran. Box office number for tickets is 01305 783 225, or of course online at the weymouthpavilion.com website. Nothing happening at the Nose at the moment. They're in that period where they're doing maintenance and closed down, and as they get towards Easter, they will open again, and there'll be bits and pieces there for you. Now, we've mentioned a couple of times the Royal Manor Theatre on Portland, and they've got their Lawrence After Arabia film on the 24th of January at 7:30, so that's almost upon us now. Tickets are available through Eventbrite, which is the ticketing website, or go to the Royal Manor Theatre website or Facebook groups for more information, and their website is www.royalmanortheatre.co.uk. Now, the other thing to say is that the Queen's Jubilee is coming up this year, and I'm sure lots of people will be planning tea parties, concerts, or some other sorts of events. We would love to hear about them so that we can tell people about them in advance, and if we can, we'd love to pop along and speak to people about what you're planning and do an interview with you before the event, and maybe come along to the event and do some filming as well. So if you are planning an event, or you want to link up with other parts of the community and get the message out that you're trying to plan something and you want to work together, then drop us an email at news@whitecourageous.tv, and we'll be happy to mention it on a future programme. Now, we do have a film for you this week in our film review section. It's called Kimi, K-I-M-I, and it's an up-and-coming American thriller film directed by Steven Soderbergh and written and produced by David Coep. The film stars Zoe Kravitz and Rita Wilson, and it's scheduled to be released on digital download on HBO Max on February the 10th. And here's the background. During the COVID-19 pandemic in Seattle, an agoraphobic tech worker discovers evidence of a violent crime while reviewing a data stream, and is met with resistance and bureaucracy when she tries reporting it to her company. To get involved, she realises she must face her greatest fear by venturing out of her apartment and into the city streets, which are filled with protesters after the city council passes a law restricting the movements of the homeless population. As we say, Kimi is scheduled to be released exclusively on HBO Max on the 10th of February. And here's a preview of it here now for you.
Kimi?
I'm here.
What time is it?
It's 7:26 a.m.
Kimi?
I'm here.
Call Dr. Burns.
I got her.
What do you want from me?
Kimi?
I'm here.
Why don't you run from me?
Call Darius.
Hey, hotness!
Wow.
What are you wondering? What do you know?
Kimi?
I'm here.
Reopen last stream on desktop.
I need more kitchen paper.
Open yesterday's stream. I'm a voice stream interpreter. I may have heard a crime on one of the streams.
The devices pick up lots of things. Just mark this degraded audio and delete it.
I am not capable, and you know it. I think a woman might need help. How do I find out who she is?
You need a device number and the admin code.
Will you make me one?
This is last favor, hotness.
Close your files, come to my office. We'll listen to the recordings together.
Miss Childs, I have to know what we're dealing with.
We're dealing with what sounds like a premeditated murder.
How do I know that?
Because I just told you. Twice now.
Maybe you've just replaced your real stresses with this.
Can we please call the FBI?
I understand that you have taken some mental health leave in the past.
Why is that in my file?
What do you want from me? Why don't you run?
You said you had her. They did. But now they don't.
Kimmy, bedtime lights.
If he's the only copy.
I emailed it to everyone I know this morning. Kimmy!
I'm here.
There we go, Kimmy, that comes out on the 10th of February on HBO Max. Well, we're coming to the end of another programme. It always seems to come around very quick and disappear very quick when you're actually doing the programme. But just to remind you, tomorrow, regular service at All Saints Church at 8 o'clock and 9:30, and the 9:30 service will be live streamed, and St Edmund's Church at 11 o'clock. And of course, tonight, in around half an hour's time, looking at the clock, the stream will be going live, and in just under 3/4 of an hour's time will be our quiz, which everybody is welcome to join. It's free, it's for fun, an alternative to TV that gets people together and doing something as a group, and that will be there. Stream going live at 7:15, programme going live at 7:30. And of course, if you've got any information for us, any stories, any news, any events, do keep in touch with us at news@whiteregis.tv. We're there all throughout the week, and we'd love to hear from you. And that's it, and I look forward to being with you again 6 o'clock next Saturday. Good night.